Hello, Simon Miller Pro Wrestling Show fans. What a crazy time it is to do a podcast. But look, I said throughout the week, we were going to experiment with some new times. We were going to experiment with just some crazy new things to see if it suits people better, if we can get a bigger audience. Just trying to figure out what works, to be completely honest. So that is what we're doing. That is what we're doing right here. I had Friday night. I've been to the gym. I trained. I got in, I ate my last meal of the day, and I was like, you know what? I've got a little time to spare before I head and go to bed here in crazy England. Let's do a live stream. If it does well, great. If it dies on its ass, then it's good. We take the piece of pen and paper and we go, shoo, and we cross it off. But yes, welcome. It's more for my American friends, I would guess. I would guess this is easier for Americans, but I don't know. You could be in England right now being like, what am I going to do at 10:30 on a Friday night? This is what I do, apparently. And also, there was some news about King of the Ring today that made me laugh. I thought, I want to talk about it. It will probably be old hat in a few days' time. So, yes, indeed, welcome. Again, always, you know the deal. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SimonMiller316. You can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/SimonMiller316. There are details and descriptions and links and all that kind of noise in the bio below. And as we are here live on YouTube, and this is a YouTube special, not going to go on the audio feeds. This is just for the people that join me live. If you want to ask a question, if you want to say anything, you just drop it in the super chat over there. Below the chat, little $sign, you click that. Put any kind of fundage or any kind of money in there. I will read out whatever you say. I will ask whatever you want. If you are rude, well, we'll just get into a conversation about that, won't we? Shout out to Undead FB Goo, who says, get straight in there. Evening. AEW sold their other 2 shows out, didn't they just? Any company could sell out 5 shows, is what the naysayers will say. 5 shows. Isn't it amazing? Their first 3 TV tapings sold out. What a world. I think at this stage, you have to also make sure you check my new alert thing. Little Stone Cold Steve Austin drinking some beer. Much better than that zombie. I like the zombie, but I was like, we need something different. I thought that worked. Another reason to drop money in the super chat. It's a joke. That's an alert box anyway. It lets us know about everything that's going on. But yeah, I can't. The first 3 AEW tapings are sell out. Now, the problem with that is eventually they're not going to sell one out and everyone's going to go, doom and gloom, doom and gloom. It's all dead, which isn't the case at all. Like, as long as they can continue to keep this momentum up and make a success of the company, that's all that matters. But man, right now, they're absolutely killing it. Again, All Out's going to be massive. First show in Washington's going to be massive. Then they're going, Philadelphia and somewhere else, I think, something like that. And there's no more tickets. And they only went on sale today, I believe. It's madness. So it goes to show everyone that went, what did they say? They went, I can't remember the match it was now. John Moxley versus Darby Allin, was it? I don't remember. Everyone's, that's rubbish. Who wants to see that? Well, apparently thousands of people do. Shout out to Jacob Donnelly in the super chat as well. If you don't know, if you go in the super chat, you get a hand on the heart. Don't know why, you just do. 2 podcasts in one day. You're too kind. That's right, when you're done here. If you want to take a sort of 45-minute walk through me as we chat mental health, because what I thought we would do, I think it's important to talk about it. We did that earlier this afternoon, and now we are back with the wrestling show. So basically, King of the Ring is starting on Monday. I've got the brackets. I've left them over here. I'm going to do it on my phone because when I try and use my table, it wiggles, and I don't think it's ever annoyed anybody else, but it annoys me. But I have them here on my phone. So this is the King of the Ring bracket. This is what starts on Monday, and then we're going to run concurrently to the Madison Square Garden shows, which are happening soon. That's where we're going to get the finals. And then we move on to Clash of Champions, where we get the 2 people going at it. So on Raw, it's going to be Cesaro versus Samoa Joe, Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre, Cedric Alexander versus Sami Zayn, The Miz versus Baron Corbin. And on SmackDown, we've got Kevin Owens versus Elias, Ali versus Buddy Murphy, Chad Gable versus Shelton Benjamin, and Apollo Crews versus Andrade. Now, straight away, I like the tournament format. I think there's some exciting matches up there. I mean, Cesaro versus Samoa Joe. That's kind of a can't-lose encounter. Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre also should be badass. Interesting, that one. Bit worried about Ricochet. Cedric Alexander, he's got a bye because he's facing Sami Zayn, so he's absolutely going to go through. So well done to Alexander for passing. The Miz versus Baron Corbin, we'll talk about in a minute. Kevin Owens versus Elias worries me because Shane McMahon will probably get involved. Ali versus Buddy Murphy should be wonderful. And again, that's kind of lose-lose. You want to continue Ali's push, great. You want to continue Buddy Murphy's push, not no problem with that. Chad Gable versus Shelton Benjamin, I think they'll do wonders for Chad Gable. There's a rumor going around that WWE are going to rename Chad Gable Shorty G, because he's short. Apparently they've trademarked it, And apparently they want to do Shorty G. I was nice knowing you, Chad Gable. And we've got Apollo Crews versus Andrade. Again, a wonderful match. I think Andrade would probably win that, given he just beat Rey Mysterio, but maybe that ties into it. Now, the interesting thing here is the King of the Ring, apparently, and it's all rumor and speculation, but there's weight to it. Apparently, it's been set up because it's a vehicle for whoever's going to win to come out the other side and feel like a big deal. They're probably going to a Universal Championship program with Seth Rollins. And when you go through that list, I know what we as internet wrestling fans will think. We will think, oh, Cesaro, maybe this is his time, or Samoa Joe, or Ricochet, even Drew McIntyre. A lot of people saying Drew McIntyre. Not the plan, or so it is said. Despite it going against the stipulation that if Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins won at Extreme Rules, he wouldn't get another shot. Apparently the way that WWE is going to go around this is by saying that whoever wins the King of the Ring will get a Universal title shot, and that person will be Baron Corbin. Now, I want to give props to WWE. Baron Corbin has not been on WWE television for a long time. And that's what we wanted, that's what we asked for, and they delivered. Same with Lacey Evans. We thought they were overexposed, and we've pulled them back. However, if Baron Corbin comes back, I don't think anyone's going to care that he goes through The Miz. I mean, looking at this bracket, I would presume he probably goes through The Miz, and he probably goes through Cedric Alexander. And then I would imagine you do something like Baron Corbin versus I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know. The point is, if we do that, and then he wins and becomes... I don't mind the idea of King Corbin, right? I think King Corbin's got a nice ring to it. It may be the gimmick, the persona that actually gets Baron Corbin over, as far as I'm not concerned. Not over. He's probably over. But it may be something that works for him. I think the issue we have here is we're only 4 weeks out from Clash of Champions. It's a pretty quick build. You know, we're jumping in quite hard. And I don't know. I think him coming back, going through all the competition, coming out the other side, and then us having to deal with the fact it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin, a match we've already seen, and a feud we're already bored of. I don't know if that's going to stop WWE's momentum, and that's not me crapping over Baron Corbin. Again, I quite like Baron Corbin. I know a lot of people can't stand him. I'm not in that bracket. I think he's okay. But I don't know. It's kind of difficult because we'd rather he did that than appear at WrestleMania, right? Against Seth Rollins. Nobody wants that. We want him in a different position. But I just think there's so many other names in that card that understandably expectations are going to be raised for, that when they don't win, it's going to be a bigger disappointment when someone you really don't want to win wins. And not someone that you're like, oh, you dastardly fool. Someone like, oh, can't believe it. I mean, you know, someone said, Simon, you can pick anybody. I would pick Samoa Joe. But that's not going to happen. And Cesaro's not going to happen. I don't know. Shout out to Jeffrey Pridemore in the super chat who says, I honestly think I'd be happy with King Corbin. I can't wait to see everyone have a meltdown. It's 5:30 here. Great time for me. Much love. That's good to hear, Jeffrey. Again, that's why we're doing it now. Just wanted to see how it appealed to people, if they liked it, they didn't like it, you know, the ups and the downs and all that kind of nonsense. You know how I roll. And again, if you want, it says right there, I put it in the chat this time, in the screen this time to see if it did anything. Everyone else seems to do it, so I thought I'd try. You want to ask a question or say anything you want, dump some money in the super chat and I'll read it out and ask it. Simple as that. You can have your say. Be it that, I was quite surprised when I saw that. But then again, if I think long term, if that does become a thing that we get the King of the Ring tournament after every year's SummerSlam, and that then dictates who will become the Universal Champion contender on the other side, we may have to put up with it this year, but in 2020, maybe we can start refining it. Maybe it can become like Money in the Bank. Like, we do have gaps at the moment. We have gaps. You know, we kind of come out of WrestleMania, we go into Money in the Bank, then we die down. We go into SummerSlam, we have nothing. We get to Survivor Series, which is kind of a defunct pay-per-view. Then we're back to the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble does its thing. I like the idea of it. I know you kind of wash, rinse, repeating, but it is just wrestling. You know, so if you win Money in the Bank, you get a title shot. You win King of the Ring, you get a title shot. You win the Royal Rumble, you get a title shot. But given that within the world of kayfabe, within the world of story, all wrestlers should be trying to get title shots, I think it's okay we come up with gimmicks to make it work. I just don't know how people are going to react if it's Baron Corbin. That's the thing. That's the only thing that I don't say I worry about it. Like, mate, it could work really well. Maybe, you know, I don't necessarily think that whoever wins King of the Ring needs to walk around with a little crown on and a little robe. I don't think we need that. But Baron Corbin is such a jerk, and would probably play up to it to such an extreme that maybe he's the only person in that. I mean, you don't want to see Drew McIntyre walking around with a crown on. Drew McIntyre's meant to be a badass, and same with Samoa Joe, same with Cesaro. Kevin Owens would probably make it funny. Everyone else probably kind of make it funny, but there are some people you don't want to do it. I think you can do it with Baron Corbin. Jacob Donnelly in the super chat says, "I honestly take any winner, just as long it's not built to run this Shane McMahon best in the world thing further into the ground." Well, that is the other rumor. The other rumor is maybe The Miz is in it. He gets hurt again, and Shane McMahon wins the King of the Ring. That's a real bet. That's worse than Baron Corbin. Shane McMahon cannot win King of the Ring. Shane McMahon cannot win King of the Ring. It can't happen. That would be the death knell for many people. Because we've already seen it once. Imagine we then see it twice. I don't think WWE will do that. I think they understand. I do think he's going to get involved. I think Elias will probably progress on SmackDown next week because he screws over Kevin Owens somehow. And that will be really, really annoying because it means at Clash of Champions, we're going to get Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon again, which I didn't want to see. I thought we were done. After SmackDown. But hey-ho, that's the direction that WWE wants to head in. And I won't judge it until we get to until we see it. Oh, apparently betting odds have been released as well. I mean, this means nothing at this stage. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre are the favourites. I'm not very good with betting odds, but still, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens are 9-2. Ricochet and Samoa Joe are 5-1. Elias is 13-2. The Miz is 13-2. Ali is 9-1. Andrade 10-1. Sami Zayn 12-1. Baron Corbin 16-1. I'd put money on that. Buddy Murphy 16-1, Cedric Alexander 20-1, Cesaro 20-1, Apollo Crews 33-1, and Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin both 40-1. It doesn't say who. A Sky Bet apparently. There are other betting things available, of course. I'm going to put a bet on Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin's going to win. What would you think about that? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. If Baron Corbin's been King of the Ring, are you going to be annoyed that we brought back King of the Ring for a vehicle for Baron Corbin? Maybe you miss Baron Corbin. Maybe you want him back. Again, I think he gets a bad rap. I think he's done okay. I just think, much like Shane McMahon, he was overexposed and put in positions he shouldn't have been in over and over again, and that's going to ruin everything. But yeah, let me know who you think is going to win King of the Ring. Are you going to put a bet? I'm going to put, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go put a bet on that. I can't quite believe that's so high for Baron Corbin. That surprises me. There you go. But yeah, King of the Ring starts on Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll obviously talk about it next week on Ups and Downs and on here and everywhere else we talk about wrestling content. There was something else I just saw that I thought, I need to talk about that before we move on. And now I can't find it because I'm a moron. It can't have been that important if I can't pick up on it now. Meh. I swear I saw it though and I thought, that's something worth talking upon. I don't think so. I must have made that up. It's just the AEW stuff, really. I swear I just saw it and I thought, Simon, that's definitely something you got to talk about. Clearly not. I've clearly gone crazy. Bray Wyatt's new song's doing well, though. Bray Wyatt's, do you remember ages ago when Fandango's song did so well on iTunes, it got into charts? It seems like Bray Wyatt's thing may do the same as well. I will listen to... Actually, I think the top 40 is on Fridays now. That's how old I am. It used to be Sundays. Jeffrey Pridemore on the Super Chat is going to bet the house on Chad Gable. Don't know who that is, Jeff. I know who Shorty G is. Imagine you're a wrestler and someone says your name's going to be Shorty G. You're never going to hear that at WrestleMania, aren't you? And the winner, new WWE champion, Shorty G. It sounds like a biscuit. I don't get WWE sometimes. Shout out to, good point, Undead FB Goo, who mentions on Twitter Bray and Alistair having a chat. It's true. Bray Wyatt tweeted out about his WWE 2K20 pre-order bonuses, and Alistair Black mentioned that he's got a door. I want to talk to you about that. I've got a door. Don't know how I feel about Alistair Black versus Bray Wyatt at this stage, because I feel like it's a match too early. I don't think we need to get to that match yet. Bray Wyatt will win, and I think that I don't think it gets in the way of Alistair Black, but it's too early. We need to build them up more. That should be a match for like WrestleMania 37. Genuinely, that's what I think. I think 2020 should be a year of just building those two into absolute badasses and then have them clash. Because then if they had clash and someone's got to lose, obviously, it doesn't matter as much. I hope it's just Alistair Black teasing to get a Twitter reaction. And I do want to see that, just not now. I think we've got so much more work we can do with both of them. There's no rush. There's loads of other feuds we can do before then. But it was exciting. Don't get me wrong. When I saw it too, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. But hold it off. Let that be a tease now. I mean, at least WrestleMania 36. I'd rather wait till WrestleMania 37. I'm just that guy. Tom Talks Rabbits in the Super Chat says, late night stream, brilliant news. Love all you do. Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate it. And Jacob Donnelly says, in the Super Chat, unpopular opinion, Baron Corbin is underrated. I actually enjoyed the whole Constable storyline. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind Baron Corbin. It's the same as I say with anybody. Eventually, I just get a bit tired of seeing the same people in the same role. Same thing with Shane McMahon, right? Exactly the same thing. Because after a while, you're just like, what else can you possibly do to make me interested in this? That's the issue I have with it. It's just, and you kind of miss seeing other people and all these other kind of stuff. So yeah, that was my issue with it. I just didn't know. I didn't know where it was going. Every week felt the same. And, you know, by the time people were done with seeing... It didn't help that WWE blamed Baron Corbin for all their ratings problems. Don't forget that. They blamed him for their ratings problems and then continued to push him. So it was just like, okay, so you're telling me that he is not a ratings draw, but we're still going to feature him every single segment. No one should ever feature in every single segment. I said this at the time, and then it segued into Shane McMahon. I know that Stone Cold Steve Austin was all over the TV back in the Attitude Era, but even he would have had a ceiling where it was like, stop it. It's too much. Now, Austin was so over, they never got it. But you could have got there eventually, but we just never did. And you need to find out where that lies for everybody on the roster, everybody on the card, and then kind of pull back a little bit, because it ties into the Bray Wyatt stuff. We've got a big episode going up tomorrow where we talk about all of this. That's like the second proper episode. This is a special one, like I say. But the best thing WWE has done recently is not put Bray Wyatt on television and have you asking the question, well, what's going to happen with Bray Wyatt? So you're going to tune in case you do see him. And there's a balance there. If you hold off for too long, then yeah, you're going to stop watching for that because you're not going to believe it's going to happen. But you get that balance right where people are like, oh, maybe it's going to be on TV. Then it's perfect, and you're going to get just enough. And that's what you got to find. Just give it just enough, or find the balance between the two and go from there. And I don't think they did that with Baron Corbin. They definitely did with Shane McMahon. Apparently, according to PW Insider, this just dropped. PW Insider has been told there's a pitch for NXT to be moved to Wednesdays on the USA Network starting this October to start the same date that All Elite Wrestling launches on TNT. Well, what do you know? We are going to have a wrestling war, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. Apparently, somebody else has tweeted, "Everyone be prepared for a major announcement on Raw. The times are changing." Maybe that ties into the NXT thing. Maybe they're going to next. Maybe they're going to make Raw 4 hours. That could be it. That could be it for me. That could be. That could be it. I think this all ties in. I think maybe we get announced on Monday. The NXT is moving to Wednesday nights. I think that's a massive risk by WWE. I don't know what the NXT audience is. I know we all love it, but whether we like it or not, we're not in the minority. But, you know, NXT on the network doesn't do over 1 million viewers, for example. I don't know what it does do, but it doesn't do over 1 million viewers. So if you move NXT to Wednesdays, you're just putting it in the firing line. Because let's say AEW. I don't know what a good rating is for AEW at this stage. I think all kind of bets are off. But if AEW does actually outdraw a WWE show night 1 or night 2 or night 3, night 4, night 5, or whatever, then they can start saying that, and then WWE's going to be like, okay, we moved this to try and circumvent any issues with ratings, and yet our show is being beaten by them. At the moment, it's not going to do, let's say Raw does 2.5 million viewers a week. It doesn't really. But let's say that's its average. If I say this, who knows? But it's unlikely AEW is going to do that, right? But we don't know how NXT is going to thrive. Did it say FS1? Did it say Fox? Because FS1 is obviously a smaller station as well. Sorry, I moved to USA Network. Sorry, I've misread. I thought it said FS1. No, it says there's a pitch to move to... So that would why they announced it on Raw. Well, that's even more crazy. So see, look, I was just going off... And now Meltzer's reporting it. Meltzer, the latest Ring Observer, he mentions USA are in contentions, and it seemed like it would happen before the 10th. So now it's going to be on... Well, America, you're going to have to tell me. I would presume that the USA Network is bigger than FS1. But what is going on? I mean, that's not so bad from the USA Network point of view, because they're losing SmackDown, right? And if they can just replace WWE content with WWE content, I know that USA Network doesn't do very well, or they're struggling at the moment other than wrestling. So you can then just kind of shirk that in there, and it would be okay. Man, I don't know about this. It's just, what's going on? Everything has gone nuts. And maybe Fox didn't. But again, the thing is, Fox is also going to have that behind-the-scenes show or that like newspaper journalist show that's going to be like talking smack. So maybe they just didn't have room in their, because that's going to be on FS1. Maybe they just didn't have room in their calendar to sort it out. So now they're like, okay, well we'll just put it on USA Network Wednesdays nights. Here's the thing as well. Let's say they take it off the network. If you're an avid NXT viewer and they take it off the network, are you going to be happy with that? Is that going to make you going to be pissed off? Are you just going to ignore it? The thing is as well, it doesn't make any difference. Like, I imagine most NXT viewers are going to watch both because it's 2019 and you can DVR and you can watch on the internet, you can stream and there's 1,000 things you can do. Shout out to Tom Talks Rabbits in the super chat. It says, do you think the channel has grown because No Rock reacts? Well, we don't really know yet, Tom. Yeah, he died a couple of days ago. I mean, we'll find out soon. I mean, it'd be cool if the channel could grow. Obviously, that's what we've been trying to do for a while now. That's why we're trying to do the stream. To do the stream now, I wanted to see how it did. I wanted to see how much interaction there was and engagement. I can write down my little notebook as I do with all this stuff, and then we can, we can see how we do. But we'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it all works out for the best. That is the main thing. Like I say, tomorrow's a couple of stuff going up on the channel, which is pretty cool. Trying to add in more weekend content, and again, had a little bit of time on a Friday night before I hit the hay, before I go to bed. Oh, it's really hot in here. These lights are killing me this evening, and that one's in the wrong place. I forgot to move it. But it's okay. But yeah, apparently it's going to go down. Segueing back into that. It's I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how that's going to. I hope they both do well. I'm just amazed that I don't necessarily think it's a risk, but I think that it's maybe it is a bit of a risk because at the moment AEW. Maybe AEW does do 1 million viewers on day one. I don't know. What would your guess be in the chat? I really don't think. I mean, you can come with crazy figures if you want, but in the chat, how many viewers is AEW going to do? Night 1, October the 4th. No, that's SmackDown. October the 2nd, TNT. What does AEW do? Does it 500,000? Does it do 250? Do 800,000? Does it do +1? That's all we got to try and figure out, and then we can. How long we got? 2 months. Less than 2 months. 6 weeks. And no one can tell me the wrestling war isn't real now. I won't accept it. This is a real thing. There's another report going around that WWE is now actively trying to sign wrestlers up they don't actually have any interest in because they don't want them going to AEW. I mean, that just sums it up. Jacob Donnelly in the super chat says, my friend's little sister was having nightmares after the Fiend's debut. I've been waiting for this. I felt bad, but at the same time, Bray is doing the right thing. Lol. Yeah. Absolutely. I wanted someone with kids or who know kids to let me know what the impression of the Fiend is, and I hadn't got anything. But you should be doing that. You want variety, you want diversity. Like any kind of good show, there should be a bit of horror in there and a bit of creepiness and a bit of like, oh, that takes me back a bit. Otherwise, it's you can't keep doing the same thing over and over. And let's not be, there's two ways to look at it. One, a lot of people think Bray Wyatt is cool, and that helps with the mainstream audience. But two, wouldn't it be ironic if the most non-PG thing that WWE has is the reason everybody comes back, and yet they still found a way to present it in a PG environment? A lot of cool stuff there. Right, we got some figures. 500,000, 1.5 million, 3 viewers. A little over 2 million. That's, oh goodness. 900,000, 700,000, 1 million, 1.2, 500,000, 500,000, 0.1, 2.2, 500 to 850. Okay, so roughly we're thinking 1 million is what we're going to do. If they do 1 million, that is massive. If they do 1 million out the gates day one, that is huge. That is a really, really good base to grow off, especially because they don't have any, again, I don't know what TNT's averages are, but they have no base, they have no average, and being the elite does like 250,000 on average? I know that's not indicative of what their total audience is, but free show on YouTube, you can kind of get an idea. So they'd essentially be timesing that by 4, which is it's pretty damn good. But then what can NXT do? I don't know what NXT audience is. 7 billion, someone says. So they're going to do the entire population of the world is going to tune into All Elite Wrestling. You have a lot of faith. You have a lot of faith in All Elite Wrestling. And somebody else just says 420. Just 400. Look, put it like this: it's all relative, right? If 420 people were watching me right now, I'd be over the moon. If 420 people watch AEW, you're like, oof, Sheesh. Chicken Salad in the super chat says, the Lucha Brothers ladder match will be amazing. Can't wait. Yeah, absolutely, because that's a week. It's 2 weeks Sunday. Sorry, yeah, 2 weeks Saturday. So 2 weeks tomorrow. We've got All Out. Crown our first AEW champion. Again, my money's got to be Chris Jericho. We'll talk about that more in the week leading up to it. But it's exciting, I tell you. I'm pretty pumped, especially for next weekend. I don't want to go off topic too much, but next weekend is when I go to South Korea to wrestle for Pro Wrestling Society out there. Going after Adam Mayhem's H title. That's right, a lot of beef on the internet, a lot of beef on Twitter. The Going In Raw guys helped me out. They signed me up to a match. And that's a pretty terrifying experience, an amazing experience. But don't kid me not, man. I'm terrified in a good way, like nervous. But what an opportunity it is to get that. So, that's my next weekend. And then the weekend after that, we'll come back. I'll be back before then. But we'll up those downs for All Out. And hopefully I'll be going to Raw Quest to get some interviews and to see what's going to go down on that New Japan show. Obviously going down in the Copper Box here in London. Which should be pretty cool as well. They've stacked that card. I mean, some of the matches on that card, just Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. alone will be badass. But yeah, so I mean, next week and next weekend may be a little bit crazy, but I will be in South Korea. I'm going to record it as much as I can on my phone, and I'm going to try and put a little vlog together that I put on my channel, so you can keep an eye out for that. Undead FB Guru, the super chat says, Watership Down was horror as a kid, wasn't it just? And imagine that, and then times that by 1,000. And you kind of get the Fiend. You kind of get Bray Wyatt. And again, I've had loads of people messaging me going, Miller, tell me about this Bray Wyatt thing. The two messages I get the most from non-wrestling fans, no joke, or people that used to watch wrestling, are, Miller, tell me what's going on with the Fiend. And Miller, what happened to Kofi Kingston's chest? It's genuinely what I get. And they say that he's got his chest because the Big Show slapped him there so hard or something. I don't know how true that is, but it is a weird chest. I feel sorry for the guy. If that happened to my chest, I'd be devastated. I always get this person's name wrong. I know this because they were tweeting about it. I'll get it wrong again. I'm going to call you Mecha Cyan. Not right. I know. I'm sorry. In the super chat, again, please do. If you want to support the super chat, please do. I'll read out and ask whatever you want. What if Roman Reigns' attacker is Jinder Mahal repackaged and getting a monster push? Well, you can't count it out because WWE has done that once before. Excuse me. But also, he is currently recovering from injury. So it's not going to be that. It's not going to be Jinder Mahal. I didn't mind Jinder Mahal. I'm not saying he should have been WWE champion. I'm just saying I never watched an episode of him on TV and thought this is terrible. I was quite intrigued to see what they were going to do between Brock Lesnar and Jinder Mahal. I imagine he would have got eaten alive, and it wouldn't have been as good as Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. I'm not saying that. But as I sit here in 2019 August, I wouldn't have minded seeing Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. I think that would have been really interesting. So 2016, it was Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. And then 2017 was AJ Styles. And 2018 was Daniel Bryan. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good three. We established on. What was it on here or somewhere else? We basically established that the first podcast that we did happened like a week or 2 weeks before we saw Goldberg come back and destroy Brock Lesnar. That's how long this podcast has been going. Isn't that terrifying? 3 years in November. I know when you do the maths, you're like, Simon, how have you only just got over 200 episodes? Not the most consistent in the past, but now look, now we're smashing them out. Now we're probably doing too much. But it's all good. So yeah, we will take it from there, and we will continue to move forward. But I'd say the rest of August, is pretty good. September will calm down. Then when October arrives, we don't even wait. You got the Raw show that October, which will just be Raw, and then Wednesday we may have NXT and we may have All Elite Wrestling, and then Friday, we get that SmackDown show, which is now confirmed to be the 20th anniversary, 20th birthday, whatever the hell they're calling it. Going to get all the old stars back again. What's Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. They've reached out to Austin The Rock, but haven't got anything back. I don't know how that's going to do. It's a bit diminishing returns because we only just saw what they did on Raw a few weeks ago. But hopefully this time they go, okay, well, we didn't jump on the platform. What I would do is I'd pack that show out. I know they've already announced some stuff, but throw that out the window. Pack that show out with legends. Make sure you get people in. Put Brock Lesnar on it. Make him win the title. I know that sucks for us, but if anyone is watching who is a casual wrestling fan, they know who Brock Lesnar is. He's an impressive athlete anyway, and it may be... It may get them to keep around. That's what we got to do on that SmackDown episode. It will do a really good rating on Fox, and you want to make sure you keep as the biggest percentage of that audience as possible. And if Brock Lesnar, the Fox audience knows who Brock Lesnar is. If he comes out and destroys someone, that may justify Brock's crazy contract. Lanaya in the super chat, always supporting, always a good person. Kofi's chest is muscular degeneration, but it's not harming him. He just says it was Big Show. I like the way you wrote that. He just said it was Big Show. Yes, I've heard about this, but it's crazy, right? Muscular degeneration from someone slapping you that hard. I ain't taking chops no more. Not true, I will. People always chop you. Man, they chops. Even when someone chops you and it looks crap, it really, really hurts. I know that sounds pathetic, but it does. Sometimes people chop you in training. You're like, dude, not in training, bro. It's like, save that for a match. Chicken Salad says, at what point does Roman go after the title again? We're going to talk about Roman Reigns' killer, of course. I'm 99% sure it's Daniel Bryan, which is okay. I don't mind a satisfying conclusion to a story that I expect, as long as it all makes sense, which this does. If it was a Luke Harper thing to get him in that group, I'm all up for that. I think Luke Harper should have been on TV 10 years ago. The fact that they're keeping off TV is crazy. Probably when he gets out of this, I'd imagine. Actually, I don't know. Well, to be fair, I know we don't want to see it, but I know how Vince McMahon thinks. Well, at least I think I do. I'd imagine that Brock Lesnar could beat Kofi Kingston at that SmackDown, and then we roll into New Year with Roman versus Brock again, but on SmackDown. I can see him doing it. I can see them doing it. Is that the worst thing in the world? I mean, it's not great. It's a little bit boring, but it all depends how they do it. We did Seth twice. Zachariah K19, I'm going to call you. Hope that's right. My boy Simon Miller, a.k.a. Nathan Jones Jr. I'll take that. Nathan Jones was big and jacked. Nathan Jones should have been bigger than he actually was. But, of course, he couldn't quite pull it together. But I miss Nathan Jones. I was reading about him the other day, because I was reading some old Wrestling Observers to do some research, and they were talking about how everybody was behind him, and then he was gone. I'm going to get your name wrong again. Oh, you've actually said, I'll read this first. The irony is, the way you pronounce my name is the proper way, but the official pronunciation got botched by English dubbers and became the norm. All right, Mecha Cyan. Well, I'm going to stick with that then. I know I should know what that is, but I don't. But I still appreciate it. And hand on the heart for the super chat. I much appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody's super chat. Again, you can ask and say whatever you want. There's no rules. You can call me an asshole if you really do, and I'll read it out. I will say Simon Miller is an asshole, and then I'd be a little bit sad. But hey, that's just how it works. So yeah, I just wanted to pop on and talk about that stuff. I mean, other news, Paige had a neck surgery. That's why she was on the SmackDown. Obviously, they announced that at the time. Apparently, she's okay, which is the main thing. There was this weird thing about Dolph Ziggler. I don't know how true it is. But apparently Dolph Ziggler had some kind of agreement with Vince McMahon for after SummerSlam that he was going to be allowed to walk away from the company. And he went to shake Vince McMahon. This sounds like internet bullcrap. But then he went to shake Vince McMahon's hand after SummerSlam to say, thank you very much, I'm going to leave now. And Vince went, nah, I changed my mind. You're not allowed to go anywhere. That sounds like baloney to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but that just doesn't sound... It just doesn't sound real. But it is going around. People are saying that. I mean, it would do the world of good if Dolph Ziggler could leave and join AEW, if I'm completely honest. I think Dolph Ziggler still has enough standing within WWE and is such a good worker that somebody would want to see him get one, I'm going to call it a final push, but get one big push in a company like All Elite Wrestling. I think he'd thrive there. I think he'd shine. It doesn't seem that's going to happen. I don't know how much time he's got left on his deal. That goes to Rusev as well. There's rumors everywhere at the moment that Rusev's deal is going to come due soon as well. I don't know how true that is, but we will find out, right? We'll absolutely find out. But I find it hard to believe that that's a real story. It just sounds too ridiculous. It sounds too. Oh, the internet just made that nonsense up. Right, the King of the Ring bracket has just popped up on my feed, so we can try and work this out. So the winner of Cesaro versus Samoa Joe will take on Ricochet and Drew McIntyre. So I would say, I think they put Samoa Joe and Drew McIntyre through. Although I can see Ricochet rolling Drew McIntyre up. Let me go with my gut. Samoa Joe and Drew McIntyre, and then they'll take on Cedric Alexander and Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin would win that. I think so. I think you get one side, you get Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. They're never going to do that. I'm crap at this. And then the other side, I'd say Elias goes through. I'd say Buddy Murphy goes through. I'd say Chad Gable goes through. I'd say Andrade goes through. Then it's Andrade versus Chad Gable. I put Andrade through. And it's Ali versus... So Ali goes through. So then you got Ali versus Andrade. So I'm going to have Andrade versus Baron Corbin in the fight. How much do I suck at King of the Ring booking? If you've got time, we're going to wrap this up soon. If you've got time, go and find the King of the Ring bracket. It's out there. Or I can just tell you it now if you've got a pen and paper and I want you book it for me. So it's on the Raw side, it's Cesaro versus Samoa Joe. I know we've done this, but I'll let you know again. So the winner of Cesaro and Samoa Joe takes on the winner of Ricochet Drew McIntyre, right? Then the winner of Cedric Alexander and Sami Zayn takes on the winner of The Miz and Baron Corbin. So you already know that one. Other side, the winner of Kevin Owens Elias takes on the winner of Ali and Buddy Murphy. And the winner of Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin takes on the winner of Apollo Crews Andrade. You let me know. In my crazy world, we're getting Baron Corbin versus Andrade in the King of the Ring finals because I'm a weird guy. Shout out to James Rawls in the Super Chat. Says, what would you think about a 4 horsewoman versus MMA 4 horsewoman match in a War Games? I think that would be really, really good. I just think you need to tell the right story because we know all about that, but you need to be able to bring it out, bring it into WWE main roster and make sure that all the bells and whistles in there. I think it'd be great. I'd love to see it. And I think it would sort of shine a light on all of those people really, really, really well, especially like a War Games match, which means you can have a bit of what do you call it? Smoke and mirrors. But it's... I don't know. I just think it's going to take... It will take more than just doing it. You know, you need to really plan it properly and figure it out. My favorite suggestion for the King of the Ring so far is Repo Man replaces Sami Zayn and Repo Man wins King of the Ring. Brilliant. Lee Spicer in the Super Chat says, what are your thoughts on Jim Ross's comments about NWA officials who plotted to end the life of Vince McMahon years ago? I heard this. I mean, it's shocking and it's crazy, but that does kind of sound like old school wrestling, doesn't it? Crazy old school wrestling where people seem to do this stuff and people would pay Harley Race to not show up for work and he'd break people's legs and all this kind of craziness. It's almost like mafia mentality when you had the territory system. I'm not saying it's better now than it was when we had the territories, but there are so many stories of I'll pay you not to show up. I'll pay you to break that guy's legs in a ring. I'll pay you to do this. I'll pay you to do that. That you are a bit like, what the flip? You know, like what the flip is going on? So it's pretty damn crazy. I mean, it's just... And I believe Jim Ross. I think Jim Ross is actually one of the more credible sources in pro wrestling. I think ever since Conrad Thompson took over his podcast, it's a really interesting listen, and I think he kind of reins JR in a little bit. But yeah, when you hear stories like that, there is definitely a time in pro wrestling... again, I'm not saying this is ever going to happen, but I mean, hypothetically, I would never, ever, ever have been able to survive in the pro wrestling locker room. Stuff like that going on and people it wouldn't have been for me. It would have eaten me alive and affected me mentally way too quickly. So yeah, absolutely crazy story, but I guess that just comes to show up. Wrestling is pretty nuts. And on that note, I will check to make sure nothing crazy has happened. I saw the best final I saw was Ali versus Drew McIntyre. I would change Ali for Baron Corbin, just because I'm convinced that Baron Corbin is going to win. But Ali versus Baron Corbin is a pretty good final because you've got a real good babyface people are rooting towards. And again, I think in WWE's heads, they'll be like, we can have him lose, and people are really pissed off that Baron won, that he gets all his heat back. Just my thing. So apparently, I didn't know this. Apparently, the guy that's tweeting is JJ Williams from the Wrestling Observer, who tweeted, everyone be prepared for a major announcements on Raw. The times are changing. I would guess it's the NXT announcement. So that's going to happen next week. Oh no, I didn't see it coming to USA Network. Guan Tang in the Super Chat says, my friend used to watch WWE but stopped her now. I try explaining the story to her. She'll ask me, X can't lose. Why is a skinny, scrawny dude views? Well, look, I'll tell you this. I was going through one of my matches the other day with David Francesco. I'm just going to shout it out. I'm going to ruin his character. I don't mean to. He's a really, really good trainer, really, really understands wrestling, and he's very kind to me, and he gives me great feedback. And he was saying the same thing. He was talking to me like the advantage that guys that look intimidating have is that as soon as they step out the curtain, even if someone doesn't know you, to be like, well, I think that guy could kick somebody's ass, and instantly you're over a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Instantly you're considered a threat. So I understand that from a casual fan. I completely get it because they're going to think they're going to base everything on their initial reactions, their initial looks. I think it was Forbes. It probably wasn't now. I'm done whoever it was a disservice. Someone did a really interesting article where they just showed wrestlers to people that didn't watch wrestling, and the people that got the biggest marks were like Braun Strowman, because everyone's like, well, that guy's going to kill everyone because he looks like he would. So I totally get it. And look, I've had people come and watch my match or wrestling with me, and I'm trying to explain them. If a really big dude comes out and there's a small guy beating them up, they're like, well, that's not realistic. That's what they say because they don't watch wrestling like we watch wrestling. They watch it like it is a fight. That's the irony of wrestling. Even though they know it's a predetermined, they'll try and watch it like a real sport, whereas we don't. We watch it like a performance, and they do. But that's when then the big guys and just killing everyone in their heads. They're like, well, that's stupid. Strange, isn't it? Jacob Donnelly says in the super chat, I've lost it. Where's it gone? Will Sami Zayn ever get a win? Lol. I mean, maybe. Who knows, Jacob? I hope not. They've ruined my Sami tally. I bet you he loses his first round match there, though. Within 25 seconds. You heard it here first. And Nick Reader 13 says, those WWE Fiend masks don't look good. I've seen the ones you mean. I'm pretty sure if you get it and put it on and you have braids, it'll look all right. Don't forget, you're just seeing the mask. I think you need to put it on. I'm obviously going to get one of those. That's prop gold. How much is it, though? This is what we're going to do on the podcast. We're going to go find out. WWE Euro Shop. Got to be on the front page. No, it's Becky Lynch holding a title. It's got to be somewhere. There he is. There it is. I knew it would be there. £45. This expected in stock date is August the 29th. Nah, I mean, I think it's all right. It's just a mask. 45 quid, though. One size fits most adults. My ass, WWE. That stuff never happens to me. One size fits all is the biggest lie there is. I tweeted that once. And I got an incredible response. Everyone was like, yeah, it is. It is. All right. One last chance to get in the super chat if you want. We'll start rounding up. Again, if you're around in London, the Balham area on Sunday at the Bedford, I am wrestling. I have a match. I'm competing in their heavyweight tournament. I've already defeated Leston Reese, and now I'm going after their championship belt. It culminates on September the 11th. So to keep me in that, I've got to go there and I've got to whoop. I'd appreciate your support. Following week after that, I'm going to South Korea. I don't know if anyone watching this lives in South Korea, but if you are, Pro Wrestling Society is putting on their anniversary show, and I'm going after the H title, Adam Mayhem's H title, and I'm going to whip his ass, and I'm going to bring that title back to England. It'll be my first ever title, and I'm going to have to pay more money in my baggage because it's going to be over the weight, but I don't care. I'm going after it, and I'm going to win, or I won't die trying. But I'm just do my best. That's what I'm saying. I just do my damn best. Otherwise, I get you my other bookings when I got back. Got a new booking today, which is cool. Going to be debuting for Immortal Wrestling. Have I written it down? Probably not because I'm an idiot. I have. Immortal Wrestling on the 23rd of November. That's going to be in the Wiltshire area if you're around there. So basically, I now have bookings through to the end of the year. So I expect to see you all at least one of them. No kidding. And if you are an American and you know of a promotion that you think would want to hire a bald-headed asshole, send me the details or pass across my email or whatever, and I will. I will try. Everyone asks me what my goals are in wrestling. One of them is to get booked in America because I love America. Still kind of see that as the home of pro wrestling, for better or worse. And if I could do that, that would be really badass. So I am still planning to get there. And we'll do my best. Jeffrey Pridemore in the super chat just says we appreciate you. Have a great night. Thank you, Jeffrey. And I will use that as... Oh, no, I won't because Brian Dermody just got in there. But thank you, Jeffrey. Brian Dermody says, hi, Simon, in the super chat. Love the content. Whether it's this channel or what culture, your videos always cheer me up. That's very kind. Any chance of you wrestling in Ireland sometime? Brian, I tell you, my friend, my motto with bookings is if I'm free and somebody would like me, I will be there. I'm going to stop wiggling the table. Sorry. I will be there. Absolutely, I will be there. We do have Scotland. We have Scotland. I can look down my bookings. The 6th of October in Edinburgh, I will be there for Discovery Wrestling. Only the host, but you never know what's going to happen. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So Ireland absolutely is on my radar too. So yes, I hopefully, loads of people have reached out recently, or I reached out to them. So hopefully soon I can go. I want to go everywhere. Maybe not Australia. I'm not good with flying. That may be, but I would. Like, if somebody wants to book me, this is all about getting experiences, getting opportunities, increasing my know-how, my training, all those kinds of stuff, and take it from there. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But absolutely, October the 6th at Discovery. I think it's their 5th anniversary show. I'll be there. Lee Spice in the super chat says, "Do you think 25 is too old for wrestling training?" Well, I hope not, Lee. Because I was a lot older than you when I started. No, I don't. With all walks of life, We've already done this earlier today, but we'll do it again. With all walks of life, the best time to do anything was yesterday. The second best time to do it is today. I know it's really, really cheesy, but it's a proverb and a saying I've lived my entire life by. If you want to do something, just go and do it. Like, what does that even mean? That you're too old to wrestling? Says who? Lee, let's say you were 45. You could be the first person to start wrestling training at 45 and make it to the WWE. And you'll have people tell you that it's never going to happen. You know what? It may not. But the fact that you gave it a go anyway negates any doubts that may have been in your mind. So if you want to start wrestling training, dude, and you really, really think it's something you want, go and do it. But always remember, too, that if you do it for a while and deep down you really know you don't want to do it, it's okay to quit and it's okay to walk away. You haven't done yourself a disservice. You have simply tried something and realized it's not for you, and you can take all that passion and that energy and that effort and you can apply it to something else. I don't think it gets said enough when it comes to wrestling. Wrestling sometimes portrays itself as this thing that you have to be beaten down by, and then you just learn to love it. It's not true. I haven't had that experience at all. It's hard, and you have to dedicate yourself, and you have to be focused, and you have to be driven, but it's not hell. You should enjoy it. At the beginning and end of anything you do, you should enjoy it. And I apply that to WWE as well. Somebody asked, what wrestling promotions do I work for? I'll just read you all the ones I've got for the rest of the year. So we've got Kapow, we've got Fight Star, we've got the South Korea, we've got IPW. So pumped about IPW. Week Wednesday. If you're in the Canterbury area, please come down. I'm going to need all the support I can for that one because I'll be so nervous. We got Breed Wrestling, we got EWE, EWA, UBW, Discovery, NFW, Immortal, UXC Pro, UPW. So yeah, I've got loads booked in. I'm excited about the EWA one. That's going to go down in my hometown of Luton, where I was born, at Castle Fest I used to go to when I was younger, so that is going to be hilarious. Weren't doing independent wrestling, you'll be surprised to know, when I was there. It was not a thing in the UK, but simply since then it's grown. So again, keep an eye on my Twitter at Simon316, and if you do see a show and you're in the area, you can come down. They never really cost that much. It's never really more than 10 quid or something like that. I really would appreciate your support, but I'm going to go to bed. Thank you so much for, trying this out with me. It's a little bit of an experiment to see how we did. I hope you have great nights, no matter what the time is. Have great weekends. Again, got a little special going up tomorrow, talking about Bray Wyatt. That's the official second episode of the podcast. I know I do too many. And in the evening, got another little treat for you, but I will keep that hidden for now. I'll just say I had a great time recording it. It put a big smile on my face. Thank you to everybody who did donate. There should be a button where I can go through everyone that donated to the Super Chat, and I should be able to thank you. But I can't. That's literally not a thing. But thank you to everybody in the Super Chat. I appreciate it. All the money goes back into these podcasts. If you can support me over on Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316, please do. And there's different rewards there as well. So you can get a t-shirt, you can get a postcard, you can come on the podcast, you can get a personalized message that I'll send to you, like proper recorded, and say hello. You can join my weekly Q&As. There's loads of stuff. Check it out. In the meantime, lovely seeing you all. I'm now going to go relax for the weekend, as I sometimes do. Not true, got loads planned, but in a good way. And yeah, we'll try a different crazy time next week until we find the dream time. I'll see you soon.